Hey there, it is Lauren with Let's Music Club, and I am basically just recording this video to talk about the second live event for Let's Music Club that was hosted last Sunday on STAR LINE by Chance the Rapper. My Aurora Chrome nails are still looking good. Definitely will be time for a fill-in maybe here in a week or two, but so far so good. They look great. Anyways, I am so grateful. It was an amazing time. I had the honor of having Big Cat as my co-host, who is the host of New Music Monday and the co-host of the Grits and Eggs podcast. I am so grateful to know them, partner with them, befriend them, all the things. And yeah, I'm so excited to see like how that relationship develops and what things are in store for the future. But I really wanted to basically give y'all a recap. I'm so eternally grateful. I believe it was 18 people in the room, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not gonna lie, about 24 hours before the event, I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like 3 people. I just wasn't sure. And so, to each person who was in the room, thank you so much. You guys each contributed greatly to the conversation, and it just really rounded out the time to have you there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We live very close to 285. I mean, obviously I have this mic, but I would be very surprised if you didn't just hear that truck go by. It is hot. I've been doing this more, and does anybody tap? Like do the tapping stuff? I don't know, I feel like it calms me a little bit, especially when it's like time to speak. I'm like basically calling on my voice to speak. But anyways, super scatterbrained today. What do I have to say? STAR LINE was fantastic, absolutely amazing. I have listened to it no less than 25 times all the way through, potentially more. And there's still so much that I haven't picked up on, but so much that I have, so much research that I've done. Yeah, it was truly fantastic, but even better was like getting with other people so that they could explain things that stood out to them. Basically what we did was an exercise out of the journal, which if you don't know, I am the creator of Let's Music Club. It is a guided journal on the topic of music designed to help you conceptualize your thoughts on an album of your choice. So there's room for 6 albums in the journal, and we discussed STAR LINE by Chance the Rapper. And one of the exercises within the journal is a listening exercise it's the first exercise in the musical immersion section. So each album is split into 3 different parts. The first part is just active listening. The second part is musical immersion or researching the album. And then the third part is reviewing the album. And in the second section, the first exercise in the musical immersion section is researching. So choosing a song from the album and listening to it 3 ways. Once just with audio, once with audio and lyrics, and then the third listen is with a visual component. So that's whether you go to a live event or you look up a live recording on YouTube, or a music video, I think would be the most traditional or the most obvious way to do it. So with that said, for the music club, we chose the highs and the lows to review. And basically the 18 of us gathered around a TV. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I did a test at home with the TV, and I'm like, yeah, perfect. This is great. we get into the coffee shop, Wonderful World of Coffee, over in Avondale Estates, which is a phenomenal, beautiful event space, a beautiful coffee shop, great coffee. Shout out to you, Lola. I'm forever grateful for our budding friendship and relationship as well, and partnership. Anyways, we get in there, which the coffee shop is basically in like a commune space, so there's like several different businesses within this space, and then there's like a middle section that has like tables and whatever, that's like a common space. Anyways, girl, it's loud in there. So my little TV was not carrying at all, and I was like, oh shoot, like what are we gonna do? This is a listening, like immersive listening experience. And one of the guys who came, Tilda, shout out to you, he is a DJ, and so he was like, oh, you know, I have a speaker in my car. So he grabbed the speaker and basically just saved the day. We hooked the TV up to the speaker and listened to the song 3 ways. So we listened to it once with just audio, and then I gave a little bit of time in between for people to journal, about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we listened to it once with lyrics. Same thing, journaled for a couple minutes, and then we watched the Highs and the Lows music video and journaled about it for a little bit. And from there we opened the floor for conversation, and oh my gosh, it was such great conversation. It was so rich. Like it was such a diverse crowd, those 18 people who were there, and it's like everybody got something out of that specific song. And specifically, one of the guys, Andre, who was there, he spoke about Venice, which that's where the music video was shot. And he talked about how like Venice is basically this sinking city, like the sea levels rise and fall very rapidly, and like the architecture behind it, and like he has like engineering friends, so like I don't know the ins and the outs, and I kind of missed half the conversation just being a host running around and stuff, but like the intent. All right, so my phone ran out of storage. That has been the story of my life for like the past 2-3 months. And what's crazy is that I got an external drive. Well, first and foremost, I moved all of everything, all the videos and things that were on my phone over to my laptop. And then after I moved it to my laptop got full. So I got an external drive and I moved everything over to the external drive. And yet and still, I am getting notifications on my phone that my storage is full. It seems like the less I do, the more full it gets nowadays, where it's like a 2-minute video is taking up a gig of data. Like, it's just, I'm exaggerating, but it's ridiculous. So anyways, I have to stay true to my word. I need to get something out within the next couple of hours. And so here I am back at my same spot over at the park. You see that little goose right there, that singular goose? That's the bully. That one, you'll probably see it like shake its feathers here soon. There's actually a ton of geese that are like, it used to just be 3 or maybe 4, but definitely 3. And now they seem to have found family. So there's like maybe a dozen. Most of them are super docile. It's still the 3 bullies that continue to be like not predatory, but like territorial. So thankfully it hasn't gotten closer to this. While I was setting up, I put on this little YouTube video. Oh, okay, cool. So maybe if I do my own thing, it'll do its own thing and we'll be good. But yes, so I'm basically just going to forget about them and do what I need to do. Okay, so I was talking about all of the different avenues of support and community that are showing up. What else would I like to talk about when it comes to the live event for STAR LINE? Oh, so as I was going through all of my videos, seeing what I could delete and everything, I came across a 20-minute video from the night that Deontay Kyle called FaceTime to tell me that Chance the Rapper had my journal. And so once I got off the phone with him, I turned on my camera and just recorded a little bit a little bit of something, so I maybe will edit that down and attach that to this video as well. I'm such an emotional girl. I was just talking about, you know, I think a lot of my thoughts and what I've been doing over the past couple of months is pretty repetitive because I'm constantly meeting new people. I'm constantly expressing what the brand is. And so in that video, I talk about just like the concept of if you build it, they will come. That's something that I've been saying to people, which I did do the research on. Finally, it's from Field of Dreams is where that phrase comes from. And I'm actually saying it wrong. It's a Mandela effect. It's not if you build it, they will come. I think it said if you build it, he will come. Or maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I talk about that concept where that's basically how I created this journal with my head down, like do what I need to do to create the best version of what I'm creating and then worry about how it's going to exist in the world at a later date. That later date is now. It's been existing in a pretty cool way. These opportunities are lightning in a bottle type of opportunities where it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing that this happened. I cannot believe it. This is fantastic, wonderful, all the things, but it's also it's putting a spotlight on what I have going on. And with spotlight also comes, you know, shadows. It shows you the imperfections, the blemishes, that sort of thing. So in real time, I'm working through a number of different things. I'm working through how to capitalize on opportunities, how to have conversations that lead the business forward, how to identify an opportunity and seize that opportunity. I'm trying to figure out like how to make Let's Music Club a well-oiled machine that is actually revenue producing. I'm not sure how candidly I've spoken about the fact that I am in the number of Black women in America who have been kicked out of the workforce. And so I'm also in a very unique position because last year I considered, you know, what I could actually see myself doing, and based off of that I put into motion a business, a journal, fleshing it out and creating the product. So I do have a unique opportunity to, you know, put my all into this business and allow that to be my work. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. At the same time, this is the first time in my life that I am an entrepreneur, that I'm not able to rely on the every 2 weeks for a check, that my lack of discipline matters, and like everything. Like I think that a lot of the time, you know, growing up, for better or for worse, I get if there is criticism, but it's probably mostly my own inner monologue. But like for a lot of my life, I've super vulnerable. I'm kind of deciding if I want to share this with you because like I guess the reason that I'm having trouble deciding if I want to share it is because it's so warped, the thinking. And the crazy part is it's truly like my wiring, it's truly my thinking. So it's very likely that I've already addressed this in other spaces or other conversations or whatever the case may be. But since we're here, basically I grew up in, you know, middle class America, my parents wanting to give us the best opportunity, and you know, I rejected the you have to be twice as good to get half as much mindset, and I embraced a mindset that is super warped. Let me paraphrase it with that. But I adopted this mindset of I'm going to be exactly as mediocre and get exactly the same. Like I'm going to do enough and get enough. I think that in America, as a Black person, it's almost like you are meant to, and mind you, I'm first generation American. I did not have a strong sense of identity rooted in the Black experience growing up. Of course, my family is Black. We're Jamaican. Our identity was more so rooted in Christ and rooted in our Jamaican culture. Yeah, so all of my ideas about Blackness have been my own experience and my own conclusions being drawn, for better or for worse. And a lot of the times it is for worse. Just personally, it's almost like this, I don't know, where was I going? Basically, yeah, the mindset of I'm going to be mediocre and get mediocre. Because people think mediocre, like when you hear the word, it has a very negative connotation, like it's bad, but by definition, mediocre is fine. Mediocre is streamlined, about a C. Good enough, okay, is what mediocre means. And so for a lot of my life working in, you know, a middle class environment, I always went into jobs, I went into the workforce like, I'm not giving you guys excellent. You don't deserve excellent. You don't value me or see me as excellent, and therefore I'm not going to be that. I will be mediocre just like everybody else around me, and you'll give me exactly what you give everybody else around me. So like the backbone of like discipline and like all of that, it just wasn't cultivated. When I tried in school, I'd get A's. When I didn't try, I'd get C's. How I didn't flunk, I've never flunked. I always skirted by. They always gave me the bare minimum. And so it really did create in me this mindset that like, all right, well, if I do the bare minimum, I'll still get enough. And you know, that is silly, obviously. I wasn't strongly in those communities because I didn't feel wanted or desired in those communities, and by those I mean like white communities. I didn't have a desire to be in them ever since like 7th grade, when I noticed like we had Schrock Road. It's either you were north of Schrock Road or south of Schrock Road, and basically that was like, you know, the quote unquote hood, where they began busing students into my middle school when I was in 7th grade. And it was like the first time that I actually saw Black people in like a community of Black people in my presence. And like one of my mentors growing up, she told me, she was like, yeah, it's like one day you just woke up and decided you were gonna have Black friends. And I mean, looking back on it, that's exactly what happened. They started busing students in, and I said, these are the people that I should be around, one. And then two, I've been mediocre throughout this whole time, my whole like upbringing, which, you know, at that point it's only oh my gosh, it's only 4 years. Wow, that's because I moved up to Ohio in 3rd grade. I was basically deprived from the Black community that I had. And then for 4 years, I was in a white community. And then come 7th grade, they bust in Black students. And I was like, well, this is where I'm supposed to be. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I don't know why that just hit me right now. But anyways, so life is so short, and your experience really make up everything. But yeah, so anyways, Black kids came to the school. I said, you guys are my people, and I began to act in that way. Now, mind you, I would be interested to know the history, but from the reality of where people lived within my zoning for my school district, it was very redlined. If you lived on Schrock Road or further south, you were experiencing everything that the hood had to offer, like all of the statistics, all of the, you know, everything. Like my first boyfriend, his mom dealt with drugs, and like I don't think any of my girlfriends had their dad in the home, and like this is what I'm growing up seeing, right? And there always seemed to be like my heart and my desire were different than anybody else's around me for whatever reason. And, you know, I can give grace for that, because at the end of the day, if you're moving me somewhere to give me the best opportunities, regardless of the diversity or lack of diversity around me, you want me to be with people who have the best chance, right? Like, you want me to be, you know, with the rich folks, with the established folks, with the folks who are like striving for things, with the people who are the smart, like whatever the case may be. And so I think that because of the statistics and lack of history and lack of empathy, maybe, around the scenarios that my friends were seeing themselves in, what am I trying? I'm trying to say something delicately while having undelicate feelings. How do I put this? Like, cause I guess my whole thing is like, I don't want to disrespect anybody, and I don't want to, like, I'm in therapy and I'm dealing with this shame-based mindset that I realize that I've developed over my life. But it's this weird yo-yo shame thing where it's like transitioning from shame to grace, and like not always having that healthy in between. So on the one hand, I truly believe that I was positioned in a way that was meant to cause me to succeed. But on the other hand, I think the reality of the representation that I required was not satisfied, I guess. Fudge is what I said. What am I trying to say? Like, what's my point? I think that my point is, you know what? I feel like my point is like, I grew up feeling like I wasn't allowed to feel the disconnect and the anger and the indignation that I've felt my whole life. And when I've ever tried to address the heart of how I feel, I've never been met with somebody who sees, understands, values, acknowledges, creates a space for my lens. It's always been viewed as something that needs correcting, something that needs challenging. Do you know how difficult it is for you to share your view of the world as a child, and to, from childhood, be met with confrontation at every turn? It's like, seriously? And then when I thoughtfully articulate the emotions and feelings that I grapple with, when I do it in a thoughtful and perfect way, then it's like, oh, no, we agree, totally, same. I'm like, what do you mean same? How is it the same if you're able to... It's not the same, because the difference is I'm not able to navigate the workforce with the microaggressions and the, you know, whitewashing and the systematic racism. Like, I'm not able to do that, and you are. So, like, stop saying it's the same, because it's clearly not. Like, and at the end of the day, like, I think my biggest, like, fear is, like, I feel like I've, like, actually found people who see the world like me, and, like, I'm so scared because, like, literally every single space I've been in, literally every single church that I've been in, like, and trust me, like, I love God, I love Jesus, like, I truly, genuinely believe in the principles of Christianity, like, in truth and goodness and loyalty, like, all of that, like, but I've never found community in church. Like, obviously people at my dad's church are nice enough to me, but that niceness, like, feels like it very much stems from the fact that, like, your dad is the pastor of this church, like, he's the leader of this church, of course we're going to be nice to you, you're his daughter. It hasn't never been, like, genuine community, and mind you, that could be on my end too, because I've always, since 7th grade, actively sought out Black communities, so I never found it there. When I came down to Atlanta, I went to a very intentionally diverse mega church. Like, okay, so I used to play this game, and, like, it was so incredibly intentionally diverse. The game that I would play, I would like make up an archetype of a person, and then I would look for it in the audience, and typically within 45 seconds I would find it. So, like, for example, I would be like, find a gray-haired Black woman with an orange shirt on, and I would find her. And then I'd be like, find a middle-aged man with a polo on, and then I'd find him. Like, whatever the demographic was, like, I would literally, like, it was that diverse, and it was a mega church, so it's like, yeah, in a sea of people, you're gonna find, I'd be like, okay, at first I'd be like, find 2 Black people sitting together, boom, right there, find a father and daughter, like, whatever the case may be. I would actively play this game every Sunday, and I started working on their parking lot team. I led life groups at their church, like, whatever the case may be. Found community in their church. Like, the life group that I led had like 5 girls in it, and all good, all great up until 2018, 2019, when civil unrest, that's when Breonna Taylor was killed, Trayvon Martin, like, all of that stuff, like, all of the build up to the pandemic and George Floyd, and, like, all of that's going on, and then the community disappears. At one point, my pastor, who presents as a white man, was so incredibly vocal about racism, and he spoke about, like, I am Italian American, so if we're gonna call Black people African Americans, then best believe I'm gonna do what I need to do and call myself Italian American. And if you are the descendants of slave owners, then own up to that. Like, in America, so it is all leading back to one another, right? So in America, it's so, like, there is such an assimilation that is, like, sick. It's honestly sick. Like, America is Black and white. Like, don't get me wrong, preserving your heritage is important and valuable, and communities do that well, but at the core of America, it is so Black and white, and people assimilate. People come into this country from all around the world, and they attempt to assimilate into whiteness. And, I think that in my adulthood, I am recognizing that from 7th grade, I have been on a de-assimilation journey. And I will say from 7th grade, but not even though, right? Because in my mind, I've desired to de-assimilate, but in my actions, I have been contorting myself into this assimilation program as well. Anyways, so that pastor, he, it felt so comfortable at that church. Come 2020, he's on a completely different wavelength. He is saying completely ignorant things. And so I left. And so, now I'm at a church that I thoroughly enjoy. I think that the messaging and the pastor and like the words, like everything is right. I still wouldn't necessarily say that I found community there. Like, I led one life group, but it was like an every 2 weeks virtual thing, and it is very hard to create and maintain community meeting every other week for 3 months, if that, virtually. And even with that, I think that I said like, oh, I can definitely have like 6 to 10 people or something like that, and it would be like 2 of us in the room. So like it just didn't pan out. Like, no shade to anybody, it just didn't pan out. And like, I did outside of the church, like I attempted to join like a more business-minded community with people who were adjacent to that church, and like I personally got so much out of it. Like, I would not have Let's Music Club if not for going through the program that I went through. But again, that community aspect is just like non-existent. I won't say non-existent, that's absolutely untrue. I have a very good friend, I literally just did meal prepping for her. She just texted me 2 seconds ago. So it's not that it's non-existent, and maybe that is something to talk to my counselor about too. Like, what am I looking for when I say community? Because I do have individuals who I have individual relationships with that I'm incredibly grateful for. But I almost take it as like a moral failure that I'm not popular, or like that I don't know how to build a network, or like I've always felt shunned or isolated or like not good enough. Like, so anyways, this is going, again, super scatterbrain, but like this is going back to another point where it's like, I feel like, one, America is very black and white. Like, you either assimilate into blackness or you assimilate into whiteness. And then 2, I think if you choose blackness, you have 2 routes. You either assimilate into excellence, or you assimilate into like just statistics and all those things, right? And so it's like, mind you, within that 4-year time period between 3rd and 7th grade, I had created this warped mindset that says I'm not being excellent. I'm going to be average just like all these people around me. And so I, by default, rejected the black excellence path. But I still chose black. So that only led me into the culture that was in front of me, which, again, there was no fathers in the home of any of my immediate friend group. Mind you, some of them were in jail, some of them, they were either dead or in jail. That's the 2 places that fathers existed in the friendships that I grew up with. And then not only that, you know, like the boyfriend that I mentioned, he was and is, I don't know exactly what he's doing with his life at the moment, but like I passively keep in contact with him, and I know that he was so angry with me because I started just like pretty abruptly, like, so 7th grade, that's where I made a lot of my girlfriends. By high school, I began hanging out in their neighborhood more often than not. As soon as I could drive, I was the first person to have a car in my friend group, so I became the designated driver any and everywhere. So the moment, potentially even before I was 16, like when I had my permit, but definitely the moment I turned 16, I was in their neighborhood always. And one of my girlfriends, she was dating a boy who was like the local, he was just, I don't know, like I don't think he was the local drug dealer, but he was a drug dealer, and like, you know, he eventually became a rapper and like whatever the case may be. But at the time, he was just a little hood baby. Like, so anyways, we all went over to his house, and that was the first time that I had smoked weed. And my boyfriend at the time, he was so angry with me. When I saw him later that day, like he was just livid with me. And I was like, but you smoke though. And I think that he just had so much more of an understanding of what I was exposing myself to, I guess, because it never clicked with me why he could possibly be so angry, because again, I never formally or like in a mentor sort of way got an education of Black history. You know what I mean? So it's like I couldn't really, I was just so naive, I think. I was so optimistic and so in love with the idea of Blackness at the time that I didn't stop and consider the weight of it, I guess, and how important it was to understand hard work and discipline and focus and all of those things. Like, so looking back, I think that he just saw, like, Lauren, like, this is not the path that you want to go down. I'm telling you experientially. Like, one of the things that he would tell me growing up, like, he always said, like, everybody needs a therapist, like, every single person. At the time, I didn't realize that he was saying that because he not. Anyways, I'm telling a whole lot of business, but you understand what I mean when I say I didn't get the overarching nuance of the systematic anti-Blackness that existed in my upbringing. I didn't understand it. I mean, I'm looking at personal stories, personal relationships, and I just never put two and two together until adulthood. Actually, it's so funny. Until that mentor that I mentioned, she was a Black woman who had like a dozen kids, and we were talking like within the past 2-3 years, as I was like in the past year, really, because I reached out to her in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, and we were having that conversation, and like she was the one who kind of pointed out to me this like light bulb that went off for me when I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have Black friends. Like I had white friends obviously in those first 4 years of living in Ohio, but that quickly changed as soon as Black people showed up in my space. I was very much a teacher's pet when I lived in Georgia, up until 3rd grade. Mrs. White, who was this beautiful, dark-skinned, short, kind of bigger lady, I just absolutely loved her, and I was just up under her in class, and I remember she made it so special when I left. We played like Heads Up, 7 Up, and she was like, oh, Lauren, you need to, go out of the room, like you'll be next. So just like go out, count to 1 minute, count to 60 or whatever, and come back in. So as I had left out, she was telling the class to like draw me a picture to like say goodbye, and I still have that book to this day that's like all of the little notes and pictures from all the kids in the classroom just saying goodbye, and like I was leaving for Ohio after that or whatever. But like I had never experienced closeness like that since being in school with her at E.L. Miller Elementary. And so it was just so different moving up to Ohio, and I was just somebody in Ohio. Again, like, my thing is, if they would have failed me, cool, because I deserve to be failed for how mediocre I was doing things. But they didn't. They just let me skirt on by, like, yep, that's all you need. That's all you need. And I feel like it really stunted my growth so much. Like, even to this day, I'm just like, oh my gosh, where in the world is my discipline and my motivation? I really don't have it. Like, going back, like, I made this journal because I had this like pseudo community that I paid, like, it was a pay to play situation. Like, I had money for a home, and I realized I don't have the mindset to manage a home. I don't have the income to manage a home. And so I took that nest egg and I put it in a mindset coaching program, and it worked. Like, I created this journal and it's amazing. But it was a pay to play situation. It was pseudo. It was not real community. Like, it simply was not. Like, because if it was, I'm not gonna go there. I'm I'm not even gonna go there because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I wasn't Black excellence, and the program was for Black excellence, honestly. That's the reality. I'm still very, bitter might actually be the right word. I don't want to claim bitterness, but like, I don't like the idea that I have to be twice as good to get half as much. Like, I don't like that rhetoric at all, and I don't subscribe to it. At the same time, I do think that my lack of excellence holds me back in so many different areas, and I'm like, why can't I just be good enough? Like, I created an amazing project, like, I'm meeting amazing people, like, and then I know it's just like the woes of like choosing to try and like becoming alive and like all of that, because at the end of the day, like, I for sure am meeting amazing people. I'm having great opportunities. Like, the one thing I've been lacking has been like girlfriends, and like I just went through, like, not just, like 2-3 years ago, I went through a friendship breakup with one of those girls who I met in 7th grade and like chose to be her friend, and I thought it was a lifelong friendship, but it absolutely was not. It was very much a situation of like, I was showing up for her through her trauma, but as soon as my life had any trauma in it, she didn't have the capacity for it, and I can't blame her for that. She has her own life. Anyways, it's just like, I think even loneliness is a mindset, and so like sometimes it feels like I'm not prepared for like success and prepared for excellence and prepared for life, because of the mindset that I grapple with. Because I feel like I'm alone, or like I feel like, but that's not even necessarily true. I have the tools. Like, one of the things I learned in the coaching program that was based on mindset is like figuring out your boundaries, figuring out what you want in a friendship, like what are the qualities that you desire, and like all of that. So like, I have all of that knowledge now, and I'm like actively moving towards it. So like, I am eternally grateful. I truly am. But it's like, I'm just like actively battling like depression and like the confirmation bias that I've had that tells me that I'm isolated, or that I'm lonely, or that I'm not enough, or that I'm not excellent, or like, you know, I'm battling like these thoughts, and like, I feel like my body is just like not, it's like confirming to me these negative thoughts because I don't have that much energy, and like, because I look around, like, I've been going to a workout class, and like, on the one hand, I'm going to a workout class pretty regularly, like whether it's yoga, whether it's a boot camp, like whatever the case may be, I'm going pretty regularly. At the same time, I am without a doubt every single time the most out of shape person there, every single time. And don't allow yourself to be so mediocre that you end up sinking. I think that's the reality. Like, I'm literally sinking right now, and like, there's literally no community that I've reached out to that has reached back to me except for this one. And it's the community that I feel akin to, but like, at the same time, I'm so scared to like make an actual ask, because like, I just think it's like icky to like ask for something when you're at your lowest. Do you think I'm gonna be on my period in about 3 days? Probably. There's just a part of me that like is so scared, because I'm like, well, they've given me this level of approval, and like, what if I mess that up? And like, how do I know the difference between like, well, if I mess that up, there'll be more people who will be there to receive me, versus, Lauren, you won't mess it up. Like, this is, like, these are your people. Like, this is what you're meant to be pursuing. Like, I don't understand. Because, like, even, like, there's other artists who I've thought, like, oh my gosh, like, and then I'm like, they don't mess with you. Like, they don't care about what you're doing. And then I'm like, what is my, how can, I mean, it doesn't matter because they don't know me, right? But, like, there are some artists who, like, I'm deeply impacted by their music. They've had an interaction with Let's Music Club. They're uninterested. So with that said, it now turns my experience with their work into a bitter, sweet experience. Well, things didn't go right. And then it's like, I didn't make an ask. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't have anything to collaborate on. I didn't, like, there was nothing. So there should be no bad blood. There should be no expectation. There should be no sadness or whatever. But there is, because I'm seeking community. And then it's like, thank you for acknowledging me. Does that... I don't know. I really don't even know. I don't know how to process the things that I'm, like, walking through. Because I don't want to smell like the smoke I've been through. I also don't want to set myself up to fall in love with something that's not going to sustain me. Does that make sense? I really need safety in this season of my life. I really do. And I feel like the only time where I felt like protected and safe is in the presence of Black African American men. This is not even really about STAR LINE, huh? Yeah, I think I disagree with the people saying people need to get rid of their mics. I think that this is super therapeutic for me. If you listen to this, okay, I see you. I don't know. I hope that you get something out of it. That's the thing. I'm like, I really don't want to post this because it really is so vulnerable and like unprocessed and unfiltered. At the same time, I get like 5 views, and who was it? Was it Chance the Rapper? Who said like, you can make things all you want, but releasing it is a part of the practice as well. I feel like he said that recently in an interview. And so this is super vulnerable, and like, I probably wouldn't want specific pockets or groups of people to see this level of vulnerability. At the same time, y'all aren't watching my stuff. And if you are, what are we, almost an hour in? So it's like, if you're watching, I'm sure it's because you want to know where my head's at, and this is where my head's at. As a matter of fact, yeah, if you want to know where my head's at, this is it. This is where it is today. What is it? on October 8th, 2025, this is where my head's at. Who knows where it's going to be in a week, in a month, in a year? But this is where it is now. And if nothing else, you know what's crazy too? I absolutely do need to post this because of the scenario that got me here. I literally was going to post something that was specifically about the live event. My storage ran out. I just told y'all about, you know, moving it from my phone to my laptop to the hard drive, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, I need to release this stuff and clear it out. Like, clear it out my phone, clear it out my laptop, clear it out my hard drive. If I want to see it, it's on YouTube. But aside from that, that's so funny. It's definitely taking up space in my phone and laptop and hard drive. But I'm sure it's also taking up so much space just in my head. Like, I think my final, like, conclusion, like, wrap up, recap, summary is going to just basically be, while some of my conclusions regarding my identity and my blackness were warped when they were created, I still have the ability to refine, revamp, relearn, and question my thoughts. And I still am alive, and not only am I still alive, I'm kind of alive for the first time because, in the great words of Nicki Minaj, just to live doesn't mean you're alive. And I am on my third baptism, and I think this time it is kind of real. It's very real. I'm, you know, a little over a year in, and living is hard, and living is something that you should choose to do every single day. Take a shower every day, spend time with God every single day, live every single day, choose life every single day. And on that note, y'all stay tuned just learned about the past 2 days, and I think that she is like the perfect archetype for the type of mindset, personality, friendship, girly that I would love to attract in my life. I think that she is so dope. And I love all of her music, and from what I see from what she has going on, that's the type of person that I wish that I would have grown up beside. So all of the blessings, positivity on her and her marriage and her music and her ascension. I'm so thankful to watch artists, podcasters, influencers that I resonate with ascend. It is so necessary. Praying protection, love, peace, joy, all the beautiful things on y'all. And you know what they say, if it's happening in your neighborhood, that means it's around the corner from you. So I pray for myself ascension, financial security, peace, blessings, all the beautiful things as well. That's all I got. Let's Music Club. Let me show you the material one more time before I go. This is Let's Music Club. Guided journal on the topic of music, designed to help you conceptualize your thoughts on an album of your choice. Because just because you have a thought doesn't mean you have to stay with that thought. You can learn, you can grow, you can question. And final question. When is the last time you changed your mind? That is a question that my brother loves to ask. Anytime we get together, that's one of the first questions that he asks us to ponder. So again, when was the last time that you changed your mind? All right, let's Music Club. Hey, I just wanted to take some time to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Brooks, and it's so funny that I use that name so much. I guess it's because I know you don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, I am introducing myself to a lot of people nowadays, and it's like, so the journal that I made, obviously, on Let's Music Club, I mean, it's not obvious because you probably don't know me, but for those of you who know me, the 100 people who know me in my life, like, you know what I've been up to, which is Let's Music Club, and for those of you who don't, I just created a guided journal, but outside of those 100 people, that sounds like, oh, it's 100 people, that's a lot of people, but, like, you know, the reality is we're talking family members, we're talking acquaintances, like, I basically am saying that I am coming out of a season of isolation. Like, the pandemic was not kind to me, and probably before that as well. I just wasn't in a good mental place at the time of it, and then going through it, and then getting a work from home job and isolating myself further. Like, I just don't have a big, like, community. So my name is Lauren Brooks because most of you don't know that. But anyways, so that's a really long way to say your name. And so I was able to just say, hey, like, this is Let's Music Club, this is what I do. My sister had told me, hey, you should just carry a couple of journals with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. This was to the Kendrick Lamar concert this past year, 2025, and in Atlanta. And so I had the journal with me. I was talking to this guy. We were in the merch line, and I was telling him, oh, this is Let's Music Club. This is what it is, da-da-da-da. And then my friend who I go to all these concerts with, she was like, oh, I have somebody I want you to meet. And I'm like, oh, was it one of the girls from the book club that we're in? And she didn't really say much. So then her friend came over, introduced the concept of the journal to him. He was extremely receptive to it, really loved the idea, and that was the first time that I'd met him. Fast forward, I'm able to, like, actually hold a conversation with him in general, and almost immediately he's like, oh, I like this, like, let's do something about this, like, let me help in some form or fashion. And I'm like, okay, that's amazing. Like, you know, I'm new to this entrepreneur thing. Like, I want, you know, to make sure that it's structured well and that you are, and he's like, no, like, this is out of the goodness of my heart. Like, no, it's a like, just, no, I want to promote you. I don't think he used the word favor or anything like that. And I don't mean it in a, you know what I mean? Like, he just said, no, like, chill. I like the idea. That's just the end of the story. And anyways, fast forward to right now. And he has been one of the kindest, most authentic people, busiest too. That's another story. But, no, he is like one of the, no, it's not a different story. It's the same story. Actually, it's the same story. Actually, it adds to the story because he is so busy and yet is still honoring what he said he wanted to do for me. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Somebody's flying you out, like, artists are flying you out, and, like, you're enjoying your life and you're meeting these amazing people. What do you mean? What do you mean you're literally putting me in position to win? Like, what? I don't even, like, I just feel like I am being poured into right now in a way that, like, I've been, like, the whole time, like, that I've been creating this journal, like, I've been so, like, bogged down. I've been so, like, oh my gosh. I had already been in isolation. Sorry. Whew. Sorry. I'd already been in isolation for so long that, like, I felt like I was at a desperate point, and I, like, pushed through that desperation and, like,
like, sat down and created something that I'd been thinking about for a while. Like, that's the first time that I've really had the freedom to do that. Like, I took a leap of faith and quit my job as a travel agent just because the isolation was getting to me. And, yeah, I quit that job. And then right as I quit that job, my sister's best friend called me and she was like, hey, like, she's been a florist for like over a year or two at that point. And she was like, yeah, I am doing really well and I have a storefront coming and I would love, you know, for you to be the store manager once we get it open in the fall. And do you know that meant that I had like 3 months off to just put my head down and do it, figure out what it means to start a business, get an EIN, get an LLC, you know, go through what it means to be a self-published author and all the different things that you need to do, ISBNs and printers and layout designers and all the different things, and like going through all of that and then setting aside time to truly sit there and just do the work, like create the thing and then edit the thing and then edit the thing and then edit the thing and then wait and then put money up. Like, was able to go through all of these steps to get this journal to be what it is. And I say all that to say, I was so head down and I kept saying to myself, if you build it, they will come. And I think that's biblical, and I wish I knew where it was or where it's from. It might be, is it from Sandlot? Did I just make that up? I don't know. There's a quote in there, but the quote that I'm talking about, I'm like 85% sure it's from the Bible, and it's this idea of if you build it, they will come. And if I had to guess, I would say it would be from like Noah's Ark. It would be my theory. But anyways, so the fact that I built it and just presented it to the people in my life, and that was enough. Like, for it to be good enough. And that sounds even whack. Like, I don't want to, like, build my confidence on, oh, it was good enough. Because, like, I know if it was not that good, like, I still would have created something. You know what I mean? Like, but, like, it is such a humbling honor that all I had to do was present it to the people in my world. And it's now 2 degrees away from people who shaped my musical journey growing up. People who are truly impactful in the different iterations and seasons of my own life. What are you talking about? I'm 2 degrees away from my idols. Like, what? Not idols, but icons. Just the icon living. Who is that? I think that's like Jaden Smith. But yeah, that's incredibly wild. Like, I still, like, the thing is, like, Let's Music Club is really meant to help you to honor and show respect to, like, the artist, the art itself, and then to yourself as the aesthete, basically the appreciator of beauty. Like, the whole thing is designed to help you sit down and think about your thinking and conceptualize your thoughts so that you can have an intelligible word. Oh my gosh, so that you can have an intelligible word if you get into the presence of the art, of the artist, of, like, so that you can make sure that, anyways, that's the whole thing. I'm just repeating myself. But all of that to say, I am still a fan at heart. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And then on top of that, for, like, people to really provide their own perspectives in the form of interviews, in the form of books, in the form of art, like, in the form, like, to be able to convey the way that they see the world. It's like, this is gonna be my world. Like, I mean, obviously, whether, like, regardless, but, like, what? Like, can we be for real, actually? Okay, if we're being for real, that's what we're doing. I have some disciplines to get on right now. This whole working out, I'm grateful I did my full face routine today, but I need to make sure I do that every day. It's ridiculous. This is such a blessing. And the thing is, like, I also want to put myself, like, in right perspective. And the reality is, like, I am the target audience for a lot of these people. I am getting the opportunity to speak with or to gift a journal or that come in contact with a journal. Like, I'm literally, this was designed with them in mind. Like, what are we talking about? This was designed with them in mind. And like, that is like, wow. It's just really cool to know that artists care about their audience. I think that's the coolest thing. That the love of music is alive, that even these high level creatives don't have a classism about it. That's like, a good idea is a good idea, and like, I have a really good idea, and it's a tool that can genuinely be used to help people remember their love of music. That's what I did. Like, that is what I created. And like, so in that, like, just again, that right perspective, it's like, I do deserve to be in these rooms. My voice does matter in these rooms. Isn't that the whole point of me making the room? Is to use my voice in the room so I can have a place where I feel confident to use my voice. Like, that is the whole point of creating. Because how can you tell me I used my voice wrong? Like, no. And then on top of that, for it to be a tool that I need, like one that if I'm not doing regularly, I don't feel optimal. I don't feel like my best self if I'm not taking the time to slow down and consider my thoughts and consider the input in my life. Like, what am I consuming? How is it making me feel? Where can I see the beauty? Man, there's so much beauty in music, in like the visual aspect. Like, anyways, all of this to say, Chance the Rapper has seen my journal, and he likes it, apparently. Sources say he liked my journal. Be so for real right now. That's nuts. And that's, I'm just so grateful. Oh, Lord Jesus. And you know what else? What too? I'm so grateful for men who like women. Like, I'm so grateful for men who like women just as human beings. Like, oh, you're a cool person. Oh, you're a kind-hearted person. Oh, you're, I see the value in what you're doing, and I like you as a person, and so we're gonna like be able to be partners. And what are you talking? Like, I don't know. I just feel like so many, like, I think it might be one of my requirements of a man to have women friends. And I don't mean ones that he's slept with and it's a weird ex, like, oh, let's stay in contact, sort of, like, whatever that is. But for me, I'm like, you have to know how to treat women. You have to know, like, I want you to have sisters, at bare minimum. Well, you don't have to have sisters, because if you're an only child, that's fine too. But, like, I just don't want the only women in your life to be like me as your like girlfriend, spouse, whatever, and then your mom and your sister. Like, I want there to be more women in your life that you enjoy besides your family and your lover, if that makes sense. So I'm talking low, which means I'm tired. I I do talk in my throat, I think, when I'm tired, and I sense myself doing that right now. So let me bring it on up. This probably isn't going anywhere because I feel like, what the heck am I talking about? Maybe I'll take to it. Maybe I'll try to condense it down. All of that to say, I cannot believe that Chance the Rapper saw and liked my journal. What? Like, can I tell you what Chance the Rapper got me through more than anything? I always go back to his girl, I don't know where the article was, but he was like Dad of the Year. I'm gonna call it Vogue, maybe. I don't really know. But he was Dad of the Year, and he was kind of talking about this feeling that he gets. And I was just talking about this feeling the other day, but basically it was like after he got all his awards, he got his trophies, he got back to the house, they threw a party, and then it was the following morning when everybody'd gone home, and it was just him in a messy home, nobody around, and just the feeling of like emptiness or loss after a big success. And when I tell you, like, I just did my first live event. I did my first live event in Atlanta, and like I put it on Eventbrite, and like 3 strangers showed up, and like my support system was there, and I'm like, cool, like this is great. It was a great time, great conversation. We did it on Duran Bernard's album Bloom, and it was just so fun. But yeah, I've been in the dump. Like, I went out for drinks and dancing after to celebrate, and then Sunday was shot. I tried to go to church. There was too much traffic. I tried again. There was too much traffic. It was just the whole thing. And then I just bummed around the whole rest of the day, and I thought about Chance the Rapper's interview. And I don't even remember the conclusion of his story that he told about his award and waking up the next day and feeling empty, but it was such a good reminder for me that there are highs and lows in life. There are emotional roller coasters in life. And I'm in a season of emotional roller coasters, like as a new entrepreneur who doesn't know exactly what she's doing, but wants to do it well. I'm in this roller coaster season, and I'm incredibly grateful for Chance the Rapper to have that interview, for me to acknowledge it. That was like a turning point in just my my respect for him. You know, I'd grown up listening to his music and then didn't really follow too much. And then that came, and like that stuck with me, and not a lot sticks with me. I'm not going to lie. My memory is shot. So if I've asked your name like 5 times, please forgive me. Blame my head, not my heart. I do it to everybody. Like, it's so bad. And I'll say it like 4 times in a conversation with you just to try to get it. And then I still lose it. And I'm so sorry. Maybe that's also why I say my name is Lauren Brooks so much, because it's like, I forgot your name. Maybe, unless I met you, like, you know, like, unless I haven't, like, but anyways, yeah, highs and lows of life, and I'm just so grateful that, because Kyle didn't have to call me right now at midnight and tell me this, and, like, what? My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. That's so crazy. I'm gonna drink some water. Yeah. I think I'm gonna start working out more. And then I just, my God, Lord, maybe I should take this part out. Maybe I should leave it in. But Lord, please, 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 please grant me with a firm foundation. Help me to build my foundation on solid ground, Lord. Oh, Lord, you are so good, and I trust you. I trust you. I trust your timing. I trust my relationship with you. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. That's all I can do. That's literally all I can do. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. And I love you, Jesus. Thank you. Amen. Holy Spirit, guide me. I'm working on discernment for sure.